Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
All the veterans out there, when it comes to your frame of mind, I do have your six.
That is the message from one veteran to another. This after his friend, desperate for help, took his own life earlier this week. Why his death is getting the attention at the state and national level. Plus, a crash overnight leaves one car with a lot of damage. Just take a look at that right there on your screen. The details we're piecing together this morning about that incident. Hey there, good morning. It is 6 a.m. on Saturday, April the 12th. We are going to get you ready for your Saturday. We're expecting another warm day.
Very much. Not only a warm day, but a warm week. It's also going to be windy as well, so I want to get straight to it. Temperatures right now, you're waking up in those 50s and 60s, 64 degrees right now in San Antonio, 59 in New Braunfels, 69 in areas of Del Rio, and it's just going to be the start of a warm day. Not really seeing any strong winds at the moment, but later this afternoon, that will change. Wind gusts can be out of the southeast anywhere from 10 to 20 miles an hour, even seeing some isolated wind gusts up to about 30 miles per hour in some cases, but temperatures still will be on the warmer side, getting to those 80s. And if you're going out and about later this afternoon to the Petite Strawberry Festival, not only today, but also tomorrow, it's going to be very warm. We're going to see mostly clear skies, so you're going to want that sunscreen, maybe a hat or some sunglasses. But not only is it going to be warm and sunny, it's also going to be windy. I'll talk about the winds and how long we can continue to see those winds coming up in just a bit. But other than that, we also have the next full moon tonight. It becomes full right around 7:22 tonight, and it is the pink moon because it's April, flowers are blooming, but we also have some sports tonight. We have the San Antonio FC soccer match tonight. It's going to be 80s, but we're still going to have a battle with some overnight cloud coverage possible right around sunset, and I'll talk about that, plus any hope we can see for some rain showers coming up in just a bit, Patty.
All right, thanks so much, Shelby. New this morning, a man is critically hurt after being stabbed following a family get-together. This happened over on South Olive Street on the city's east side just before midnight. Now, according to San Antonio police, an argument started at the home of the family, the home that the family was gathering in, as people were leaving. An unknown man walked up and stabbed another man in the chest before running away. The victim was taken to the hospital. Police are now searching for that suspect. And we are learning more about this crash right here. You can see the car took some serious damage. This happened over on Stone Oak Parkway and Huebner Road on the far north side of San Antonio at 11 o'clock last night. As you can see, the front end of that Audi is completely smashed, with the front hood being torn off. San Antonio police have not said yet what led to the crash, nor how the people inside the car are doing this morning. Well, a new point of view, many searches for missing people this morning. We are introducing you to two search and rescue dogs helping in the San Antonio area. Meet Raven and Gleesy. They're just two of the 20 trained and certified dogs that make up the Canine Division of the Alamo Area Search and Rescue. This group has been helping with investigations and searches in groups in San Antonio for roughly the last 20 years.
All of our volunteers spend countless hours every week training for the sole purpose of helping families get their missing loved ones home.
And this search team has 3 types of trained dogs: human remain dogs, dogs that can find any person within a certain area, and trailing dogs who can trace someone's specific scent. Now, Raven is a human remains dog. The full story, you can see it. It's very good on KSAT.com. A veteran desperate for help took his own life earlier this week, and while we don't normally report on suicides, this case is different. The family says in his desperation, he apparently didn't know what else to do. Master at Arms Second Class Mark Miller took his own life in front of the Audie Murphy Veterans Affairs Hospital on Monday afternoon. And John Paul Baraja spoke with a veteran who knew him and says he did this to send a message.
You'll always be in my heart. I'll always consider you a friend and a comrade.
It's an emotional message for a soldier's life that was taken too soon.
My heart dropped because it was so unexpected.
Master at Arms Second Class Mark Miller was a well-decorated naval veteran. Monday afternoon in broad daylight, Miller took a taxi to the Audie Murphy VA hospital and shot himself outside the front doors.
Mark's dad wrote, Why would Mark do such a hideous thing? I know exactly why. He was making a powerful statement to the VA and to the world on behalf of thousands of veterans.
He's 100% right on that. A desperate act of communication.
American Legion Post 300 chaplain Steve Drought met Miller during their time at Post 300.
He was so let down by the Veterans Administration system, the military system.
In an emotional Facebook post, Mark's dad wrote, "I lay the blame for my son's death on the VA system and the psychiatrist who drugged him instead of helping him."
Mark wanted help. He wanted somebody that would understand his pain and would give him more than 5 minutes.
State Rep Josie Garcia brought up Miller's story on the House floor Thursday, advocating for legislation aimed at veteran mental health.
Mark Miller's life was not in vain. This was his own personal sacrifice to try to save somebody else.
Miller and his dad published a book 3 years ago titled Suicide Stalks the Sniper, outlining years of battling suicidal thoughts that he had overcome and ultimately fell victim to.
Although Mark is sending a message, how do you make it a point to others not to go down the same path?
Every time someone takes and makes that decision, they've affected right away a minimum of 135 people in their social circle.
Stroud adds that number only continues to grow and has this message.
So all the veterans out there, when it comes to your frame of mind, I do have your six.
John Paul Barajas, KSAT 12 News.
Okay, KSAT has emailed the local VA and we have not yet heard back. But if you or someone you know is struggling with mental health or thoughts of suicide, help is available. You can call or text 388 to find resources. Good morning, Petite. The time right now, 6:07, 64 degrees out there. Coming up on GMSA, a federal agency declared him dead, and now he's trying to fix it. Why thousands of dollars are on the line, and what a San Antonio man has to do to get his life back on track. And still ahead, it is time to plant some seeds and put down roots. How to find the right plants that can thrive despite the weather, and what you want to keep in mind now that spring has sprung. But next, it's all about Fiesta, how you can get your hands on some very special medals and what you'll want to do to ensure that you do.
And just taking a look outside with live cam, it's definitely going to be a warm day. Clear skies right now, clear skies expected later today. We finally start to see some cloud coverage arrive later in the week, and I'll go over the track and timing of that and how that affects your ability to see the moon tonight coming up.
We're just 2 weeks away from the start of Fiesta, but starting Monday on GMSA, we are giving out the secret locations to get our exclusive KSAT Fiesta medals. We will reveal them at 5:30 in the morning and 6:45 a.m. every day. You do not want to miss that. Good morning to our friends out there in Seguin. The time right now, 6:11, 64 degrees out there. Coming up, April showers may bring May flowers, but there's also some buds already blooming right now. What you'll want to know about planting flowers that come back year after year. Time right now, 6:14. It is April, which means it's prime time to plant those spring perennials. In this segment of Gardening with KSAT, Sarah Acosta tells us how to add some curbside appeal to your garden that comes back year after year.
Planting in San Antonio is tough because come summer, we are battling months of consecutive triple digits, extreme drought, and deer that gobble up everything in the hill country. And then in the winter, we have a couple of weeks of freezes. But if you plant the right perennials that are native or just plants that thrive here, you can still have a beautiful garden landscape. Here are your prime perennials that will thrive in our South Texas environment.
And of course, Rainbow Gardens has you covered.
Blackfoot Daisy, you'll put her in the front of your beds. She is a low grower and gives flowers almost all year. Damianita Daisy, another low growing front row girly. For the middle, you'll want to plant any type of lantana, Greg's Mist flower, milkweed, Copper Canyon daisy, or any kind of salvia spires. These are all bloomers that attract pollinators and once established will be the backbone of your gardens. The big back row or fence line perennials will be like your Texas sage, esperanzas, and Pride of Barbados. These can get huge, so plant with lots of space in mind, but they also give constant color even in the thick of summer. Landscaping a flower bed for the first time can feel overwhelming, especially when it comes to placement. If you head to sawsgardenstylesanantonio.com and click on how to garden and plant by numbers, it gives you several landscape bed options that tell you exactly how to map out your perennial sorted by light, space, and style. I will link to this on our web story, KSAT.com.
Happy gardening. I'm Sarah Costa, KSAT 12 News.
Okay, so I put some seeds down at the beginning of spring, and I'm still waiting for that rain to come in. Hopefully, it might make a return soon.
Hopefully, we're looking at maybe around Easter, right up to Fiestas, when we can see the first chance of rain. But I think everyone in South Texas needs the rain, and sadly, we're not getting any anytime soon, especially over the next 7 days. No rain chances, and that's because we have two weather systems. The first one is that low pressure system just making its way off into areas near the Great Lakes. And that just shows you the pattern we've been in the last few days is any low pressure system that goes through the central portion of the United States brings tons of rain and snow to the northern part. But then that leaves us with a high pressure system just to the west in West Texas. And that's going to be the real weather maker for us, at least, is we're going to continue to have that high pressure system move over areas of San Antonio over the next few days, while we still have that low pressure system just to the north, bringing more snow and more rain into areas of the Great Lakes, more rain and snow to the northeast, especially in the mountainous areas. But we're just going to stay dry and sunny and hot over the next few days. On Thursday, that low pressure or that high pressure system moves off into areas just to the east of us near Houston. And we have another low pressure system make its way onto the Pacific Northwest, merge with the next low pressure system just to the west of us. Now, this is still a week away, so things can and probably will change. But it does look like we are going to get some sort of precipitation next weekend. But that's going to be quick, maybe a few showers Friday or Saturday, and that continues to move off into Sunday morning. Now, rainfall potential still going to be relatively dry over the next 7 days, and this is just through next week, Thursday and Friday. It doesn't even include the potential for any rainfall we can see into areas of Saturday, but that just shows you the low pressure systems moving off into areas of the northeast and how wet and how much moisture they're going to get. Moisture we could really use here in South Texas, but still going to be zooming in very dry in areas of San Antonio. A potential to see some sort of rainfall in areas near Texarkana, but most of Texas, in fact, going to be dry. But this is what I was mentioning earlier. That precipitation outlook. Most of the United States is still going to see some sort of precipitation where you see those green colors. That's where we're going to be above precipitation for our average in that precip outlook. Now, a little bit of some drier conditions in areas of the southeast, but they've received multiple inches of rain, so they are okay with giving us here in San Antonio a little bit of some moisture. Now, zooming in, that does include areas just to the north of San Antonio. That's going to be where they are well above average for that precipitation. For us in San Antonio, we are still expected to get some. Not tracking a lot, but compared to what we've been, still any moisture is good moisture for us. And it's going to continue to be dry and sunny this weekend. 89 degrees later today, 91 tomorrow. Starting to see some sort of clouds return to the forecast tomorrow morning, but the story, other than the sun and the heat, it's going to be windy. Expect wind gusts up to about 35 miles per hour. Although they're calm right now, it doesn't look like it's going to continue to be that way. Now, despite that, winds will continue on Sunday and Monday, and with some dry conditions for us on Sunday, as you get into areas near the Edwards Plateau, there is that slight chance for some sort of elevated or near critical fire weather potential for areas of West Texas. Not looking like that for us here in San Antonio, but still an FYI for some areas out there. And otherwise, dry, dry, dry. Humidity finally returns next week, but it's not looking so good, Patty, for your flowers.
Yeah.
Or vegetables or whatever you plant.
And the wind also not looking very good for those with allergies with the pollen.
Correct. I know oak jumped yesterday. We're starting to see a decrease. Hopefully pollen count's not in yet. Hopefully it's decreased today as well.
All right, thanks so much. We want to say good morning to our friends in Lavernia. Time right now is 6:20, 64 degrees. Coming up, If you're looking for something to do today, we've got some excellent opportunities for you where you can get a hop start on Easter. Time right now, 6:24. Well, we are less than 2 weeks from Easter, and this weekend we'll be hopping with community egg hunts. On KSAT.com, you can find some of those events. Let's start with today in Boerne. They are holding their 19th annual Easter egg hunt at City Lake Park. Pre-hunt events start at 10:30. That includes pictures with a bunny. Over in Seguin, the Texas Lutheran University Bulldog Stadium will be covered in eggs for the 3rd annual Eggapalooza. Gates open at 8:30. More than 30,000 eggs will be ready to be found. And on Sunday, the Bexar County Parks and Recreation is hosting an Easter egg hunt at Wood Lake Park. 8,000 eggs will be available for kids up to 12 years old. The county says they host events at different parks all year to build a sense of community. Many of these organizations are filling the eggs themselves, so that is a lot of love for their community. But that's not all. Today, Hard Rock Cafe San Antonio is also hosting their Rock into April Breakfast with a Bunny event that is happening from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. At Hard Rock Cafe San Antonio on West Crockett Street. Families can hop into a morning full of Easter fun and delicious food and can enjoy adorable family photos with the Easter Bunny. There's also cookie decorating stations, and the kids will also have a blast coloring activities and special giveaways to take home. Hey there, good morning. It is 6:30 on Saturday, April the 12th. Another warm weekend with really no chances for rain anytime soon.
Sadly, no. I wish I had better news, but today's actually a memorable day in weather history. I wanted to jump to it. We had a few years, almost 9 years ago, we had some hail reported in Rock Springs, but in 1927 was the Rock Springs tornado. It was an EF5 tornado, and in fact destroyed most of the town. 74 people lost their lives, injured 200. So just wanted to show you that little weather history. Now today, we're not expecting a severe weather outbreak for most of the country. There is some sort of thunderstorms expected as you get into areas near Billings, Montana, but overall, relatively quiet for the severe weather for the country, and that's because we have two different systems. We have that high pressure system just to the west of El Paso, and that's going to be giving us some warmer temperatures, but we also have that low pressure system just near the northeast, near the Great Lakes, giving them plenty of snow and some rain. But that high pressure system, that's going to continue to make its way towards areas of San Antonio as we head throughout today and over the next few days, and that's going to be not only giving us the heat, but those winds, and I'll talk about that more in just a bit. But temperatures going to be warm in those 80s, even some low 90s as we head throughout the next few days, even close to record-breaking heat or near record-breaking heat as we get into Monday. We'll be getting into those low 90s. But today, the main focus is the temperatures in those 80s and those winds. We can see wind gusts up to about 25 to 30 miles per hour later this afternoon into the evening, feeling more hair dryer like, which can have an impact on your weekend plans. And it also has an impact on our drought. And I'll talk about that coming up in just a bit.
All right, well, picture this. You've been receiving Social Security benefits since birth because of your disability, and one day those benefits just stopped. And not because you did anything wrong, but because the Social Security Administration labeled you as dead. A San Antonio man says the government told him he died on February 21st. Joseph Ars hasn't received his $1,200 check for April. Social Security wants their money back for paying him in March, and his Medicaid and Medicare have been interrupted. His caretaker says it's been inconvenient having to go to the Social Security office in person to fix this, but they have no other choice in order to pay the bills and see doctors.
They stated that he was deceased, and Social Security was saying that they wanted to collect their funds that they had deposited into his account, his benefits. They wanted it.
I'm disabled and I get seizures. The benefits I get is like whenever I need to go to the doctor, I don't have to pay stuff.
When he tried to go to get his medication, he couldn't get his medication. He was not covered. When he tried to go see a doctor, he was denied because they said he had no coverage.
Some good news. After communicating with the bank and the Social Security Administration, Felicia and Joseph believe their issue is going to be reversed very soon. However, an exact date of when the money will be in their account and when the healthcare issues will be handled is still unclear. Well, help is here, but not for much longer. Tax filing day is Tuesday, April 15th, and this is the last weekend to take advantage of the free tax preparation program. Now, it is being offered by Volunteer Tax Income Assistance, or VITA, and the United Way of San Antonio. Anyone who earns $65,000 or less is eligible for the free service. If you plan to head out to any of the 12 locations, bring some patience for the long lines and also your paperwork.
Your photo ID, social security cards of all of those who are going to be claimed on your tax return, all of your W-2s, any of your 1099 forms.
And don't forget your receipts for all of your deductions. For a list of locations, hours, and other information, check this story on KSAT.com. And speaking of filing your taxes, the IRS wants to warn you about scammers. They say crooks are pretending to be IRS officials. They will call, email, or text saying you owe back taxes or there is a problem with your tax return. Scammers will even threaten to take your driver's license away, sue, arrest, or deport you. The IRS says they don't call, text, or email. If they need to contact you, they will send you a letter in the mail. Turning to our attention now to the Lone Star State Capitol, Texas Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick has officially announced he will run for re-election, and his first endorsement comes from none other than President Donald Trump himself. This would be the fourth term for Patrick, according to the Texas Tribune. Patrick said a more formal kickoff would follow the legislative session, but that he wanted to make his intentions known. During his time as lieutenant governor, he's included stricter border enforcement, increasing the role of religion in schools, and property tax cuts. Meantime, the Texas House has given the green light to a massive $337 billion two-year state budget. It passed after more than 13 hours of debate. Now, some key focuses on the plan are teacher pay, border security, and property tax cuts. The House budget is similar to the Senate's version, but a notable change include eliminating funding for the Texas Lottery Commission. Now, as lawmakers work to finalize the budget, they're leaving about $40 billion in general revenue on the table to the House and Senate will now work together to bring the two spending plans together. After that, it will go to the governor's desk for signature. And President Donald Trump has authorized the military to take control of federal lands along the southern border, sending a memo just yesterday to 4 federal agency heads. He is empowering the 4 department secretaries to transfer control of certain federal and public lands along the U.S.-Mexico border to the military. The Department of Defense is also told to, quote, take a more direct role in militarizing that area. President Trump also hopes a new policy will drive migrants to self-deport. According to a DHS official, the agency asked the Social Security Administration to mark more than 6,000 names of immigrants into a database that tracks dead people. The move targets migrants who have Social Security numbers and would cut off their ability to legally work in the United States, receive various benefits, and access to financial services. The White House said those targeted are on temporary parole for a terror watch list or have FBI criminal records and would not be eligible for benefits. Now, since the start of the U.S. immigration crackdown, the agency has made it more difficult to get Social Security numbers and cards. Meantime, immigrant rights groups are asking a judge to block the IRS from turning over sensitive information about undocumented taxpayers. The White House told the IRS to share that information with Immigration and Customs Enforcement. DHS says that provision allows the data sharing since it is for migrants already facing deportation orders. The suing groups argue that only applies to individualized requests and not wholesale requests for bulk data. A hearing is scheduled for next week on this matter. And the president's immigration crackdown is hurting beer sales. That is according to the CEO of Constellation Brands, which owns Corona and Modelo. The company said Thursday there was a 1% drop in its beer shipments last quarter, and the slowdown in beer sales was mostly pronounced at stores in neighborhoods with large Hispanic populations. About half of Constellation's U.S. customers are Hispanic. The company says many have stopped going to restaurants and gatherings in large groups out of fear of being swept up in deportations. Good morning, Bandera County. Your time right now, 8:37, 64 degrees out there. Coming up, how about heading nowhere? The hidden gem in Alamo Heights and the best-selling author behind it.
And temperatures today definitely going to be a warm one. As you take a look outside, that sun's just getting ready to rise within the next hour or so, but it's also going to be a dry weekend. Some areas having that chance of some fire weather. I'll talk about it coming up after the break.
Welcome back. It is 6:41. It is a hidden gem in Alamo Heights, Nowhere Bookshop. SA Live's Jen Tobias Strusky turns the page on what makes this independent bookstore a beloved neighborhood hangout.
Welcome to a place where you can get lost and find yourself. If you ever dreamed of wandering into a bookish oasis, a place where you can sip some wine or cozy up with a cup of coffee while you explore. Thank you so much. You're very welcome. Thank you. Then Nowhere Bookshop is the place to be. Best-selling author Jenny Lawson, also known as the Bloggist, is the woman behind Nowhere Bookshop. If you're wondering where the name comes from, Jenny explains on her website that it's meant to be the land of stories, a place for imagination to roam free. And this shop is definitely bringing people together.
Yeah, it's like a little hug. It's like a little hug here in San Antonio, I think. It really is. Yeah, the people are so great.
Nowhere has this vibe about it that is only created because of how they've curated everything. It's not a typical bookstore, but typical bookstores are cool, but there's something special and magical about Nowhere.
I read all the staff favorite the memos, and I've gotten a number of my favorite books from that.
Because reading can be very individual, isolating thing, but working in the bookstore, you get to meet a bunch of people who also love reading. Yes, that's nice.
The love of reading. Don't you just love that? Inside, you'll find a carefully curated selection of new books from literary classics to the latest bestsellers. This is such a cozy nook. I think I'm going to stay in the kids section. And if you come in not knowing which book to pick, I love this section. Right here, it's the staff selections. They have all their favorites and a description why. I'm already set. I think maybe one of these here? Yeah. And it's really not just about the books. It's about the experience.
I think that there's something really special when you want either a fictional book or something different or something that is outside of your norm, and you can talk to anyone here and they will have an idea of not only that book but 3 others that are like that too.
And I'm here now with Vicki Leando, the event coordinator here at Nowhere Bookshop. Thank you so much for having me today.
Oh, thanks.
It's a beautiful place. Let's talk about what makes it different.
What makes it different? We've been here since 2020, and so we had a very different starting point. We meant to open in April 2020. Obviously, that didn't happen. So we started initially as online and curbside only. We opened to the general public in the summer of 2021, and we've been just working to be a community space and just a hub for everyone here since then. And so we host a lot of events, we host a lot of author signings, book clubs, and we also have a community space that's open for people to use just if they have a meeting, if they have private book clubs. We've done birthday parties, we've done baby showers, things like that. So we really just want it to be a place where people in San Antonio, people in this area feel safe coming in, picking up books, buying gifts. We want to be that neighborhood bookstore that you remember from when you were little. That's the idea.
I'm already feeling those vibes just walking in, and I may have even stayed in the kids section for a while because it's so cozy. But Jenny is behind all of this, the author, right? So let's talk about Jenny. She's got her section right here, Jenny Lawson.
Yeah, Jenny Lawson, New York Times bestselling author, is the owner and what we like to call the proprietress of Nowhere Bookshop. So this was her baby, her idea that started in the fall of 2019, although she had the idea before then, but the website launched then. And she just wanted a space like the bookstores that she remembers from when she was a kid, from the bookstore where she met her husband in college, and just that kind of place that sort of feels reminiscent and fun and an escape. And she made it. We are the official bookseller for the San Antonio Book Festival. This is, we've been doing it for a few years now. So if you come, all of the books are provided by and sold by us. So the big tent where the author signings are, that's what we do. We get to set up, basically take our store, move it over there to the Central Library, and sell all day. It's a lot of fun. This year, I believe there's about 103 authors. The team at the Book Festival has done an incredible job curating. We've got a lot of fun books to carry. So definitely save the date, April 12th. Come out and hang out all day at Central Library.
Bookworm transformation complete, right, buddy? All right, so whether you're looking for your new favorite book, new favorite author, Nowhere Bookshop is the place to be, and especially if you want to just come and unwind and have a delicious coffee. Get lost in the pages. For more information, head to salive.com, click the As Seen on SA Live tab, or scan the QR code on your screen, right, buddy? Yeah, that's right. Back to reading. Okay, back to reading.
I just love Jen. This is going to be a great weekend to sit in your patio, open up a book, and just relax and enjoy the warm weather. Not quite hot yet.
Correct. As long as you're shaded, it'll be a perfect weekend to go and enjoy the book. No rain, which actually plays in our favor if you're wanting to go out and read a book. But look at this. This is that rainfall accumulation year to date. So normally around this time, we're about just under 7 inches of rainfall. Right now, we're just under 4. So that's about a 3-inch difference. In Austin, they're lower by an inch. Areas near Del Rio, almost 2.5 inches of that difference. So it just shows you another way of that drought. Now, we are still in that drought for West Texas, but I want to focus on areas of South Central Texas. Now, this is continuing to be that 3 years of continual drought. Now, the latest drought monitor was in on Thursday, and there wasn't much of a difference between last week to this week. A few weeks ago, we saw that exceptional drought, that almost maroon color, move closer and closer to San Antonio, including areas of Seguin, New Braunfels still moving just to the west near areas near Uvalde County, Real County, but it's been almost 223 days since all of last South Central Texas was last considered to be drought free, and we're going to continue to still be relatively dry over the next few days, and we also have some stronger winds as well. Now, that's not going to help our chances of some fire weather. Now, this weekend, still seeing some winds up to 10 to 15 miles per hour, but those wind gusts, specifically tomorrow, we're going to see some wind gusts up to about 30 miles per hour possible as we even start off the week. 20 to 25 miles per hour, and once again getting stronger next weekend as we have a system come through. But the strong winds this weekend aren't going to help the chances for areas near the Edwards Plateau for that fire danger. Now, there is that very high, almost that salmon color. That's going to be just to the west of Bexar County, including southern part of San Antonio Metro near 1604. But the heavier chance and that elevated chance of extreme fire danger is well to the west of us. Now, tomorrow, it does move a little closer to areas of San Antonio, including areas near Kerr, Bandera, Real County, even stretching down through Uvalde, but still not impacting areas of San Antonio. We're still sitting in that salmony color, that very high chance of some fire danger, and that's just because we're going to be very dry and we're going to continue to have some stronger winds. But like I mentioned, that dryness. Now, we're still seeing some southerly winds currently, still bringing some humidity off the Gulf and the coast. And as a high pressure system continues to move to the east of us, we have another low pressure system coming this upcoming week. That's what's giving us that front on Monday, and all of that dry air is going to try to feed in behind it. Still seeing some humidity on Monday and Tuesday, and then as that front gets closer and closer on Tuesday morning, all of that dry air is going to start to feed into areas of North Texas. Still seeing some humidity along the coastal counties, but that's normal normal for them to see all of that humidity, and we're still going to be relatively dry as we head into Tuesday. Right now, we're not sitting too dry. We're sitting relatively pleasant with our dew points in those 40s and 50s. Our actual air temperature sitting in those 60s and 50s, but later this afternoon, temperatures will continue to be in those 70s, even in those 80s, 86 to 87 degrees in some areas, almost 90 degrees later for us here in San Antonio. And it's going to be warm today, similar to tomorrow and Monday, temperatures in those 90s. A little cooler on Tuesday as we have that system coming through, Patty, but otherwise definitely going to be, if you're shaded this weekend, good to cuddle up on couch and read a book.
The wind, how strong are those winds going to be?
So winds, it depends on the area. Some areas where you are a little lower in elevation, you can see winds up to about 25 to 30 miles an hour. Tomorrow is going to be the day where we're seeing some stronger winds, maybe up to 30. But we've seen winds up to 50 before, so not as strong, but still something to keep an eye on.
All right, thanks so much, Shelby. Time right now is 6:50, 64 degrees out there. Good morning, Comal County. Coming up, once upon a time, there was a festival happening right here in San Antonio. Best part is, the wait is over. The page-turning event happening today, and where you can catch the action. And taking a live look outside 281 and Redland Road. Traffic looking really good around San Antonio area. We're keeping an eye out there for you just in case. This is at I-10 at 1604 where construction is always happening. Be careful out there. Time right now, 6:54 today at 10 on a new episode of Texas Eats. This pizza joint has become a hot destination in downtown San Antonio.
Now, I got to come out here just for lunch a couple days ago, and I was blown away. The quality of the slices of pizza that you have out here at Leo's Hideout, it is really, really good. And you're going to be showing us how you make these pizzas, because everything's actually made right in front of the customer. And we're just right behind the counter, right when you walk in, and you have all the dough set up right here. So what's the first thing you do to make the pizzas?
So I usually like to kind of set where the crust is going to be first. So the next step is going to be to stretch the dough. The way I was kind of taught is to use your knuckles kind of the whole way around, and then as I go through, I'll feel for any thicker spots. For all of the pizzas here, we start with our sauce base, and then we'll go on to our cheese. This is just shredded mozzarella. But since we're doing the Mad Dog, this is just ricotta cheese. And the Mad Dog is kind of like our take on like a spicy pie. And this one gets the andouille sausage, which we make ours here with pork belly, pepperoni, and Calabrian chilies.
The 78th annual Poteet Strawberry Festival is kicking off, already underway this weekend. Festivities start today at 10. This year's music lineup features De Parranda, That Mexican OT, the William Beckman, and we have more information on the Berry Sweet events taking place over on our website, KSAT.com. You get it? Berry? Also happening today, the San Antonio Book Festival returns to the Central Library and across the street from the library at UTSA Southwest Campus on Augusta. More than 100 authors are slated to appear there, and hopefully they're going to have some good weather for folks to walk over there if you live in the neighborhood.
It's definitely going to be warm, so maybe have a water bottle handy or just some sort of hat for some sunscreen. And even then, not only are we going to be warm today, we're also going to be warm trending right up to Fiesta, right through Easter, sitting either at average or 10 to 15 degrees above average. And you can even see that on our 7-day forecast. Our average is around 78 degrees this time of year, 80s normally towards the end of April, but today we're going to be 89, 91s on Sunday and Monday. A little cooler as we head through next week, but definitely going to be warm in those 80s and 90s. Still going to see plenty of sunshine as well over the next few days. Tracking another system arriving next week, and that could potentially bring some humidity, even, yes, a slight chance of rain for your Easter, but we'll keep you posted on that. But otherwise, it's going to be a beautiful day to go out to the Poteet Strawberry Festival or to go out and enjoy some good books.
A lot of egg hunts going on this weekend as well, so I know. Yes, a lot of activities outdoor. Don't forget the sunscreen.
Don't forget to have an excellent day.
See, it's catching on. All right, thanks for watching. GMSA will be back at 8.